Hey guys, welcome back. So this is going to be a catch up on my pickups. So obviously I've been off YouTube for a few months and I've bought a couple of things and I've had some Christmas gifts as well at the end of the year. So I thought it'd be a good idea to just make a video and get up to date really and catch up with what I've been picking up and what I got for Christmas. And this video is actually inspired by my good friend Champion 2D Rob. Rob's just made a comeback to YouTube, started making videos, and he made a similar video recently which I thought was brilliant. So I thought, why not? I've got a few things to talk about, so I'm going to do the same. And yeah, it's been really good. Before we get into it, I just want to say it's been great to see people coming back and making videos again. So this week, I've been seeing, there was Champion 2D Rob, there was 16-Bit Brit, there was Time Warp James, there was Flashback TNT, the other James, and my good friend over in California, Alex, Blue Tonic 78, even got off his arse and made a video. So thank you, Alex, well done. Alex won't mind me saying that. Me and him talk a lot about making videos. It's one of the big topics of conversation. But yeah, it's just really cool actually just to see the old school coming back and seeing people that I haven't seen for a while on camera. So it's really nice. So thanks guys. Right, so I've got a few things to talk about, as I say. Going to start with some PS4 games. Now these, basically the PS4, I've got a massive list of games I need to pick up. I've got a lot of catching up to do on the PS4 because I got distracted with a lot of retro stuff and I didn't play it enough as much as I wanted to. And you know, price of games as well. I mean, some of them, you know, even things like Last of Us 2 are still 20 quid. So it's, you know, I can't afford to just keep going out and buying those games all the time. And other things come up like Blu-rays and, you know, retro games that are cheaper. So anyway, so these games I bought initially when they first came out years ago, and then I've sold things on and rebought. So I needed to get these back in the collection, and the first one I picked up was a game I love, which is Uncharted Lost Legacy. And yeah, I know it's a PlayStation hit, so I can't believe it myself, but you know what, I don't actually mind. I've never ever been a fan of Platinum Editions or Classics or PlayStation hits, but for the price, for a sealed copy of this, and it was like a little bit more, like £1 or £2 to get a black label copy used. I thought, well, there's no point, just get over yourself, Pete, and just buy this. It really doesn't matter. And you know, the disc itself, it's the black label disc. It's not even a platinum disc. So, and it's got a nice red spine, so that kind of helps. So I don't really, you know, whatever. I don't care anymore. It's just like I just want to play the game, and if I can get it sealed for a good price, I'll go for it. Lost Legacy. If you know me and my channel, I'm a huge Uncharted fan. Have been since the beginning back in 2007. I've played the games ridiculous amounts of times, all of them, except for Golden Abyss, which I'll probably never get to play because unfortunately they just don't seem to want to bring it to console. If there's one game I want on console, it's Uncharted Golden Abyss, because I'm not shelling out for a Vita. I'm not going to buy a PS Vita just to buy one game. It's just not worth all that money. And I'm not a big handheld guy either. You know, I dabble, but I'm not hardcore, so not. But anyway, Lost Legacy, I played through it again, and you know what, it's really weird. I could have sworn that I finished the game the first time round. I don't think I actually did. I think I got pissed off with it and gave up, because I remember the first time I played the game when it came out, the puzzles really got on my nerves. I found I'm really bad at puzzles. I get frustrated quickly with them, and so when I was playing the game, I just couldn't do the puzzles, and I had to go on YouTube to find out how to do them. Which is weird because this time I played it and they were piss easy, so I don't even know, maybe I was in a mood or something. It's really strange, my focus must not have been there, because I played this game over Christmas time, or no, just before Christmas, and it was dead easy, man. The puzzles were not complicated at all. It just took a minute to think about what I was doing. Strange how that happens, isn't it? You know, you can play a game one day and be absolutely stressed out by it, come back to it a few weeks later or months later, and you're like, what the hell was I stressing for? Really odd. But yeah, I managed to get right through the game, and I think that's what caused the problem. I probably gave up on it, unfortunately, which I've never done on any Uncharted game. And I don't really like to do on games anyway, unless I really have to. But I think I must have given up originally and just put it on the shelf, because I got to the end of this game and there was stuff happening, like there's bits with like a train track, and it was like reminiscent of Uncharted 2. I don't remember any of that, so I clearly didn't finish it the first time. But it's absolutely brilliant. What a great, I mean, it's essentially like a DLC, isn't it? It's like a short mission where you play as Chloe and you're having Nadine helping you out. It's great, man. It's gorgeous. I mean, obviously the graphics are beautiful, and the HDR and all of that, and the 4K and all. It's all very nice. Now I've got the Pro, but it's really good. I really like the story a lot. Chloe's one of my favourite characters anyway, so that was brilliant. I really like Nadine Ross actually. I think she works really well. The two of them play off each other well. Yeah, excellent game. Another great entry to the Uncharted series, and you know, there'll probably be one on PS5, but I'll probably never get to play it unless a miracle happens. But I just can't bring myself to shell out for a PS5. I just have got no interest in next generation. But who knows in the future what will happen. But right now there's no chance. So I got that, and then I started looking into what I wanted to get next, and looking at prices of games on my list, and you know, trying to get the cheap stuff. So I thought I'd get the Call of Duty games that I don't currently own, because I currently only own Call of Duty World War II, which is one of my favourites. But I did get one of my absolute favourite Call of Duties of all the games that have been released. I only played campaign, and this is a brilliant game. This is Call of Duty Ghosts. I don't know if everybody's played this. I'm sure you probably have. I mean, everybody plays Call of Duty, but I know a lot of people like multiplayer. I love the campaign in this. You go into space, you're on the ground, you've got the dog, which I'm blanking on the name of the dog, the Alsatian. It's really cool, man, really different and really interesting. And it's, unlike the other Uncharted, unlike the other Call of Duty games, it's a lot slower pace for the campaign. The story unfolds at a nice pace. The action is nowhere near as ridiculous as Call of Duty can be, where it just beats the shit out of you and you can't survive, and I always end up dying a lot. This one is more like a traditional first-person shooter where you're just taking your time, picking off enemies. It's great. It holds up really well. I mean, I remember, if I'm rightly, I played it on the Xbox One originally, back when it came out in 2013, I believe. Pretty sure it was around lunchtime, and I really enjoyed it. And yeah, the graphics have held up exceptionally well. I think that last generation, none of the games are going to look rough, to be quite honest. I mean, if you think about it, even like Killzone Shadowfall, I haven't played it since launch, but that was a beautiful game, and I think that's probably going to age well. I'm not entirely certain on that, but what do you say? Next I picked up Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, which absolutely shocked the hell out of me. I remember liking this at the time. I remember there was a couple of levels that really stood out for me, but it didn't blow me away. I was really impressed when I played it this time. There's so much I don't remember from this game. It's a beautiful game. I love as much as it was annoying because Call of Duty went so futuristic and went so far up its own arse, it's actually really good, and there's a lot of really cool level design, and there's some nice sneaking about stealthy moments, which is not something I'm into, but you know, when it's done right and it's easy and you can just go around and just put a silencer on and pop someone in the back of the head, it's kind of fun. And I had a lot of fun playing. I was really surprised. I mean, Kevin Spacey is still annoying. I don't like when you have, like, even I can't remember the name of the actor now, it's just blanked. But the video game actor who plays Sam in Uncharted 4, it's just blanked. It'll come to me anyway. But it's just like, I hate seeing actors' faces in video games because I find it really distracting. Because, you know, I'm just looking at it going, oh, that's that actor, or that's that actor. And it doesn't let me get into the game as much. But I was really surprised how well Advanced Warfare holds up and how much fun it is to play. Again, it's not a really brutal bash over the head Call of Duty where you're just getting annihilated every 5 seconds. It's a little bit slower paced. It's got a lot more variety, a lot more interesting stuff going on. Great story. Yeah, really shocked. Unfortunately, the last one I picked up was Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, which I remember really, really enjoying. It's actually really boring. Disappointing, actually. It starts off great. It starts off really fun. It's all, again, futuristic, and there's robots and there's all kinds of shit kicking off, and the graphics are absolutely incredible. I mean, at this point, I hadn't played my PS4 for a few months. I've been playing other things. And I was just, you know, when you haven't played those games for a long time and you put them on and you're like, Jesus Christ, this is just unreal that this is what games look like now. Absolutely blew my mind. Yeah, it was really good. And then it gets to this bit where you're on this spaceship and you're just constantly doing bullshit, pointless missions. And you're constantly in this bloody room deciding what to do, and they're just talking. And I was just like, God, this is so boring. Well, eventually you get past that, and I haven't finished it. I haven't gone back to it since I stopped playing it just before Christmas. But you get back to a bit more normality with the missions. But yeah, I don't really like it that much. It's not that good. It's really disappointing actually, because I remembered it being a great game, and just shows that memory does play tricks with you. So I bought them. The other thing I bought last year was a new system, which was a handheld, surprisingly, and that is the Evercade. Really cool piece of kit, this. If you don't know what it is, it's a retro-inspired, well, it is a retro console, basically. It's a retro handheld that takes cartridges in the back. I don't have one in the unfortunate moment, but there's a reason for that, and you'll find out later in the video. So it takes little cartridges which have game collections from different companies on, It's really, really cool little device. I'm not a massive handheld guy, as I've said before, not really my thing, but I wanted to try the Evercade because they had a new version of the Evercade coming out, and I was interested to just see if it was for me and what it was all about. And I was looking at the time to try and find a way of getting away from collecting retro games and having original hardware and software, and this seemed like the way to go because of the pricing structure, and the actual machine was getting good reviews from people on YouTube. And yeah, I'm going to go more in depth in another video where I talk about Evercade and my experience, but I just want to show you what I've been picking up in this video. So I look forward to that video. So that collection, by the way, here's the box and all, just if you haven't seen it. Very nice. Now, the packaging is actually really good the way they do it. It's really nicely laid out. Some of the nicest packaging I've seen in a long time, like this slides out like that. It opens up and everything's in layers, so you've got easy access. It's really good. It came with 3 collections as well. So it came with Interplay Collection 1, which includes Clay Fighter, which is terrible, never been a good game. Rrgmidro, which I'm not a fan of. I've tried to like that game, you know, but that first level does my nut, and the boss, I don't understand what I'm doing wrong. It's a beautiful game, but it's a frustrating as hell game. I find the crows really irritating. It's got a game called Battle Chess, which I'm not a fan of. I don't care about chess. Buggerman, he's alright, it's a pretty decent platform. It's got Incantation from the Super Nintendo, which I believe, I'm not 100%, but I think from my SNES collecting days, was the final game to be released on the system. I know that when I was collecting American Super Nintendo, that game was very expensive, and probably still is. It's actually really good. I didn't like it when I first tried to play it. I thought, oh, this is a bit boring. But the more I've played it and the more I've understood what you're supposed to be doing, I've actually really gotten into it, and it's a beautiful looking game as well. And it includes a game called Titan, which I think I had to go on and just gave up because it was boring. Next it comes with Namco Collection 1, which has got Galaxian, which is obviously brilliant. It's got Pac-Man, which is the NES version, which I know I've seen people in America say is crap, but it's alright, it plays okay for me. It's got Xevious, which I love, great little shooter. Sound effects can get on your tits, but it's a good game. Mappy, which is alright. It's got Dig Dugs, Starluster. It's, for some reason they put Battle Cars on, which is a really god-awful Super Nintendo game that I bought when I was collecting American Super Nintendo years ago. It's absolute shite, and I don't know why they put it on here. Mountain Marines, I don't care. Libel Rabble, Quad Challenge, and Mappy Kids. Mappy Kids is about the only game I actually play the most on here. I play a bit of Xevious and a bit of Galaxian and Pac-Man, but I mostly play Mappy Kids, which is like an NES game basically. I think it's homebrew, but I'm not sure. But yeah, it's pretty decent. It's like a little platform game, basically, little cute thing with a mouse. And the third one you get is the Atari Collection 1, which is really, really fun. So there's an absolute stack of games on this. There's 20 classics, and you've got 2,600 games, and you've got 7,800. I won't read them all because there's loads. So you've got like Centipede, Adventure, Asteroids, Missile Command, you know, all the things you'd expect to have. But it's got some really cool 7,800 games. Now, I know jack about the 7800. In fact, I didn't know anything about the 7800 until I got this collection and started playing the games. And then I found out by going online and watching videos on YouTube that the 7800 is actually pretty decent. Apparently it's got a shitty sound chip. It used a 2600 sound chip, but the graphics are absolutely incredible when you compare them to the 2600. There's a game called Ninja Golf, which everyone raves about, which is a lot of fun. But for me, it was Alien Brigade, which is like an Operation Wolf, which is absolutely awesome. What was the others? Where's the others? So there's a lot of games on this collection. Or is that on the other one? I'm just getting confused now. It might be on. Oh no, yeah. There's Food Fight, which is I've never played that. And I think it was an arcade game. Man, that game's addictive. Basically, you have to run from right to left and dodge the enemies, and you've got food that you can throw at them to get rid of them, and don't fall down the hole. And you have to grab. I can't really have to eat. There's something you have to eat on the other side of the screen. I can't remember off the top of my head. But it's such an addictive game, absolutely brilliant. I had so much fun with that one. And there was another one, which I'm not sure is on the other collection. It may be on Atari 2, I'm not sure. Yeah. Oh yeah, and there's Desert Falcon on here, it's a 2600 version, but there's, I believe the 7800 is on the other collection. So, but yeah, it's really, really cool. So yeah, I mean, you get those 3 collections, so I think that's a really good way to start you off, just to get an idea of what the Evercade is all about. And they come in these nice little boxes. They have the cartridge, and they get a full colour manual, which is nicely detailed on all the games. It's really well done, I think. I mean, it blows my mind that a company would release a cartridge machine in this day and age, but it's working for them. It's selling well, and you know, the more people that try it, the more people are enjoying it. It's really cool. So on to the things I've actually picked up for it, and so I picked up 2 collections last year. I got the Atari Collection number 2, which has got an absolute ton, another 20 games on it, 7800, 2600. It's got the 7800 version of Centipede, which is brilliant. Me and my dad have been playing High Score Challenge on that, and it's been so much fun. The 7800 version of Asteroids, which is absolutely fantastic. I love that game, so much fun. And yeah, it was this one. Planet Smashers is another vertical shoot 'em up I really like a lot. Desert Falcon is on here, 7800 version. I tend to play the 7800 games more than I do the 26. The 26 are good, but I mean, they're incredibly playable, but graphically they're a bit shite. Whereas the 7800 are a lot nicer to look at. But mostly my main games really have been Centipede, Asteroids, Alien Brigade on the first collection, and yeah, and Planet Smashers. So yeah, but really cool and really impressed with it. I also went and picked up, because unfortunately this is going out of print this year, so I grabbed it before it got hoovered up and scalped and sold for silly money on eBay, and that is the Technos Collection number 1. And the reason I wanted this is because it's basically a Double Dragon collection. You've got Double Dragon NES, Double Dragon 2 NES, which is a great game, River City Ransom, which is alright, I played it, it's not too bad, Dodgeball, which I didn't like. You've got the one I wanted the most, which is Super Double Dragon for Super Nintendo, which is one of my favourites. It's actually Revenge of Double Dragon, the Japanese version, which is really cool. Super Spike V-Ball, wasn't bothered. Renegade, which is the NES version, which is alright, but Renegade for me is Commodore, Amstrad, Spectrum, and in particular Commodore 64. And Crash Boys, was it Crashing the Boys Street Challenge, which it was alright, I wasn't that bothered. Mostly I played Double Dragon 2, and Super Double Dragon, and I'm still trying to beat the bosses on Super Double Dragon, which is frustrating, because if you watch me on Instagram, follow me on Instagram, last year I managed to finish Revenge of Double Dragon when I had the CRT set up and I had the ROMs for the Super Nintendo, the Super Famicom. I managed to clock it, but I can't do it on the Evercade. I've got right to the end, I've got a save and everything, because you can do quick saves, which is really good and really helpful. But I just can't do it. I'm just getting my arse handed to me every time. It's really, really tough, but it's a great game. It looks great, plays great. Yeah, fantastic. And they've recently upgraded the software as well, the firmware for the handheld, to match their new system, which is the first thing I'm going to talk about, which is what I got for Christmas. It's something I was really excited to get, because I really wanted this. Didn't think I was going to get it for Christmas. I thought I'd have to buy it in 2022, but I got very lucky and I got myself an Evercade versus Evercade VS. Still don't know what the actual correct term is for this. Everybody says it differently, even the people that work at Blaze, so I don't know. But this is the console version of the Evercade that they just released the end of last year. I think it was November it came out. It's absolutely fantastic. I am going to talk about it in my Evercade video, and I'll go more in depth about my experiences with the handheld and the console. The biggest advantage of the console is obviously, well, 2 big advantages. One, it's a console, so you plug it into your telly. Secondly, it has twin cartridge slots, so you can put 2 carts in and have access to a ton of games, which is absolutely brilliant. As I say, the Atari collections have got 20 games each, so that's 40 games. You ain't got to get up and keep changing carts, you can just sit there and play. It's really, really fun. Now, the firmware was updated on the handheld because the console came out and had the latest firmware, so they matched them up together. So now you've got bezels, so when you're playing the games in 4:3 mode or pixel perfect as I do, you've got the nice backgrounds instead of just black, which is great, which I'm so glad they did, because I was worried they were going to have black backgrounds and it'd be boring. So that's brilliant. But they've also got they've got scanline filters. I've never used a scanline filter on an emulator, so I didn't know if it was any good. I've been absolutely blown away by how nice they look. They have, you can choose to turn them off, or if you turn them on, you've got subtle scan lines and you've got strong scan lines. Now, strong scan lines I think look the best. Unfortunately, it makes the screen too dark, so I tend to use subtle scan lines now, because I want a little bit of brightness in my picture. But yeah, they're really, really nice. The emulation I've been really impressed with. I mean, I don't get technical. I just go by what my eyes tell me, and just visually, it looks fantastic on my flat screen. Really impressed. But as I say, I'll go more in depth when I do a video. So we got. I'll talk about the cartridges that came with the console after I've shown you the cartridges I got for Christmas, and there's a reason for that. So the cartridges I got for Christmas, I'll just get them, is the first one I got was Indie Heroes Collection 1. Obviously it's indie games. Not something I've been really into the indie scene. I don't know a lot about it. Never really got into it because it didn't appeal to me personally, and it was all digital, and there's many reasons why I didn't like the indie scene. But I saw this and I thought there's some really good, interesting games there I want to try. Now, there's a lot of games on it, I won't go through them, but the ones that have really stood out for me so far, one is a game called Foxyland, which is a 2D platform game. You play a little fox. Beautiful looking game, great music and sound effects. A bit tricky, I'm finding it hard to make precise jumps and I'm finding it a little bit frustrating, so I've taken a break, but it's a good game. And my favourite game is Alien Cat 2, which really surprised me actually. That's a really fun puzzle game. I don't like puzzle games that much, other than Tetris. I'm crap at puzzles. But basically you have a cat and it's either left and right, two cats, sorry. You either have one left and one right, or one top and one bottom of the screen. And you have to move the cats around the screen, avoiding the hazards and collecting the items, and then you open up a portal to escape. But obviously if you push up, then both cats move at exactly the same time, so you have to make sure they're positioned correctly so you don't kill one of the cats. It's great, it's got a really nice level of difficulty as well. It's not really frustrating, it's got that level of difficulty whereby it makes you want to keep coming back and trying again and correcting your mistakes and figuring out where you went wrong. And when you finally do it, which one level I got to, I was just there for about half an hour trying to do it and I couldn't figure it out. Multiple attempts, finally did it, and it was like getting close to midnight. I was like, oh, thank God for that. I was determined to do it before I went to sleep like. But yeah, it feels so rewarding when you do it and you get through the level. You're like, oh, thank God for that. It's a really great game. So yeah, the Indie Heroes collection has been really, really cool. Next one I got was an absolute must buy, and I really wanted this when it got announced. The Bitmap Brothers collection. So this includes Speedball for the Master System, Xenon 2 for the Mega Drive Genesis, Speedball 2 for the Mega Drive Genesis, Chaos Engine for the Super Nintendo, and Speedball 2100 for the PlayStation 1. So I've played all of them. Speedball on the Master System I've never played before. It's okay, wasn't that impressed. Speedball 2 is a good port. Mega Drive port's decent anyway, but it's just never going to be as good as the Amiga for me, but it plays well enough and it gives you a good idea of what the game's about. Speedball 2100 is alright, it's decent. It's PlayStation, so it's got great music and sound, it's full on, and the graphics look nice. But yeah, it's just Speedball 2 with knobs on, but it's a good game. The one that I wanted the most was Chaos Engine Super Nintendo, because it's one of my favourite SNES games, and one of my favourite games from the Amiga, and it's a great port on the SNES, so I'm really happy to have that. And the scanline filter as well, it looks absolutely stunning on the Versus, and it plays really well, it's really smooth. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'm still struggling to get to the end. I've never managed to finish the game. It's really hard, but it's a great game. It's a classic. And then Xenon 2, which really surprised me the most. I was shocked by this one because I actually thought this game wouldn't translate well. I thought it was going to be way too slow compared to modern shooting games. So, you know, even in a lot of the 8-bit and 16-bit shoot 'em ups are way better than Xenon 2. But I found myself over Christmas playing a lot of Xenon 2, and I really got into it. And once I got past level 1, I got really addicted, and I've got further than I've ever got, even when I was a kid and I had my Amiga 500. I got really good at Xenon 2. I was blown away by it. And the Mega Drive port's actually really nice. It's got great sound effects. Music sounds really good as well, the classic soundtrack for the game. It's still really cool when the alien pops up and he's got his headset on and he's listening to his Walkman with the soundtrack. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. So yeah, really impressed with the Bitmap collection. I hope they do another one down the line and we get games like Gods and Magic Pockets, because then I'd be chuffed. But I don't think there wasn't a console version of Magic Pockets, was there? There's a Mega Drive and SNES version of Gods, so Magic Pockets is an Amiga game, so that could be tricky. The last collection I got for Christmas is one I really wanted, because this is for a console that I know nothing about other than what I've learned over the last 3 years from following the Intellivision Amico, and that is the Intellivision collection. So this is completely fresh to me. I had no idea what to expect. You know, I've seen loads of videos and podcasts since with the American guys and Canadian guys talking about their experiences with Intellivision growing up in the games, and I've obviously seen the new reimagined versions of certain games coming on to Amico, and I've been excited to play them. They're all fresh and new to me. So it was great to have the Intellivision collection on the Evercade and be able to play them and to find out what they're all about. And so this has got a fair few games. It's got Night Stalker, Astro Smash, Thin Ice, Thunder Castle, Shark, Princess Quest, Frog Bug, Snafu, Slapshot, Super Pro Hockey, Pinball, Buzz Bombers, and Word Rockets. I think one of them, I think it's Princess Quest, but I'm not 100%, is a homebrew game, which is even cooler that they put a homebrew game on there. The games that really have caught my attention so far, I've tried all of them, but the ones that have really impressed me the most are Astro Smash, which the Amico version is going to be so good, and Night Stalker, which me and my dad had so much fun playing Night Stalker. We put it on and we just got hooked completely, and we were trying to beat each other's high scores, and it was great, man. Over the Christmas period, me and my dad played quite a bit of Evercade, and it was so nice. It was like being back in the 80s with my Commodore 64 again, being able to pass the controller and play and try and beat each other's scores. It was great fun. I really enjoyed that. It was one lovely thing about the Evercade. It's brought us, you know, closer together with the gaming stuff. Yeah, Night Stalker's brilliant, man. You basically, if you never played it, you have to control a little character in a maze. You run out of a base, and a gun pops up. You grab the gun, and there's a robot going around trying to shoot you. And there's bats that stun you, and there's a spider that's walking around. And you have the directional pad, the D-pad controls the character. The 4 buttons, they are up, down, left, and right for shooting. And you only get, I don't know how many bullets you get exactly, but say you get 5 bullets, you're very limited in your ammo, and you have to destroy the robot. Now, we worked out pretty quickly there's a trick to this, where the robot, once you kill him, will spawn in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. So if you just stand there, as he's about to spawn, you fire and run off, and he'll spawn, get hit, and fire at you as he's about to get hit. And so you can just keep doing that, but unfortunately you can't, because after a while, they spawn a second robot and a third robot, and then you get more powered up, powerful robots that just destroy you. So then it gets tricky because you're on the run. It's very tactical. It's not just a straightforward action game. It's really, really fun. Then one thing I did find, I don't know if this is because they've translated the original controls to the Evercade, or if it's just how the game played back in the day as well. Please let me know, you guys in America and Canada. But I found that when you're pushing up, for instance, and you want to quickly do a right, like imagine like Pac-Man, you want to run down the right-hand lane. You can't, he just seems to just keep going. He's sort of slippy and just keeps running. So you have to push up, stop him, and then push right and be very definite with the controls, which is why I think the Amico version is going to be better, because you have that disc and you have the smooth accuracy, and you're able to just slip in and out of different lanes. But yeah, it's really fun. And Astro Smash I've been playing a lot of. That's a great high score challenge, brilliant little shooter. And you know, now I've played it and I understand how the scoring works and how addictive the game is and how fun it is. The Amico version with multiplayer and all the new graphics and music and sound effects and the boss battles, and it's going to be absolutely epic. So I'm very excited for that. But yeah, it's really, really cool. So I will do a video, as I say. I'll talk about the Evercade handheld. I'll talk about the Evercade console as well. The only thing I haven't shown you is what came with the console. That's what I was going to show you. So you get 2 arcade carts. Now, the arcade is the reason I really wanted to get into Evercade. That was the thing the 2 things that tipped me over was, 1, the console. I was very happy to see a console version. And 2 was the arcades. As soon as they announced arcades, legal arcade ROMs on cartridges, I was like, I'm in. So the first one I've got is Technos Collection 1, Arcade 1, which comes with Mysterious Stones, Blockout, Combo Tribes, Double Dragon 2, Double Dragon 3, Mania Challenge, Minky Monkey, and Battle Lane Volume 5. Now, I've finished Double Dragon 2 and Combo Tribes. And Combo Tribes I played on console, didn't like it. The arcade game is absolutely bloody brilliant. It's a fantastic fighter. Really, really good beat 'em up, so definitely recommend checking that one out if you haven't already. Double Dragon 2, it feels like going like 60 frames or more. It just seems so fast that it's ridiculous. It's a little tough, a little challenging, but I managed to do it. It wasn't that bad. Double Dragon 3 I can't beat. I remember that game in the arcades. I remember it being fun, and I kept seeing people on YouTube saying, oh, that game's terrible, it was never good. And I thought, no, I remember that being decent. No, it isn't very good. It's really, really awkward to play, and it just gets really frustrating, and you're just getting hit and stunned and you can't move, and you're just like, oh, for God's sake. And there's like dudes with swords just chopping me. It's a frustrating game. Number 2 is better. All the other games I've played, they're all right. Battle Lane Volume 5 is the one game I just can't get anywhere on. It's just too hard. Basically, it's a vertical game, and you're riding a motorbike, and there's trucks and enemies, and you've got to try and dodge and shoot. It's a one-hit kill game, and I hate games like that. It's so frustrating because it's quite fast as well. And I just keep getting killed, and I can't get off the level, so what's the point? You know, even with infinite bloody credits, it's just impossible. So for me, that cartridge really is Double Dragon 2 and Combo Tribes, and it's worth the money just for those. Second cartridge you get with the console is the Data East Arcade. I did forget to mention that's the premium pack, by the way. There were different packs. There's a basic pack, and then there's a premium pack. There was a Founders Edition, but that was very early on in the pre-orders. That's not available anymore, I believe. So the Data East cartridge is great. It's got Burger Time. It's got Bad Dudes vs Dragon Ninja Classic. Gate of Doom, which is pretty decent. Wizard Files is alright. It's got Breakthrough, which is absolutely incredible. I've never played Breakthrough. What a brilliant arcade. I recommend checking it out on a ROM or something if you can. Or if you've got the Evercade, get this and play it, because it's so much fun. It's ridiculously hard, and it took me all night to beat it, but I did. And a lot of saving, but it's absolutely spectacular. Tumble Pop, Darwin 4878, Slice By, Chain Reaction, and Lock and Chase. Now, I've played all the games because they're arcade games, so they're easy to get into. Slice Spy is fantastic. I beat that. I first played that on MAME and I loved it, so I was really excited to play that. I beat Dragon Ninja, and my favourite game is Tumble Pop. I've never played that before. I'm really addicted to it. I can't stop playing it. It's absolutely brilliant. I don't know if anybody is out there that plays arcade, maybe Nintendo Arcade. Alex, you might know. Is it part of Pang? It seems like it is. Like there's a map between levels, which makes it feel like it's very Pang or Buster Brothers for the Americans. It's absolutely brilliant. Basically, it's just a straightforward like platform game where you've got a vacuum, you have to suck up the enemies and fire them at the other enemies, and there's boss battles, and it's just great. It's really chilled out. It's got really cool level designs, really interesting different worlds that you go to, different environments, should I say. Great music, great sound effects. I've never heard of the game, and I'm really glad they put it in the collection. That's what I like about Evercade. Blaze are putting games out that I've never heard of, and it's making it more interesting than just putting out the obvious. I mean, it's nice that they are putting the obvious as well, but it's a good combo of obvious and never heard of, and I love that. They also have a cartridge I really want to get next. It's out of stock at the moment, unfortunately, from a Spanish arcade company called Galco, and there's some absolutely great looking games on that. I'm really excited to try that one, so when I can get it, I will buy a copy of that. And that's the games, that's all the stuff I've bought and had for Christmas video game wise. Now I've got a couple of films I want to talk about, and that's it really, guys. So I've got 3 films for Christmas, so let's crack on with those. And the first one I got is a film I saw at the cinema a couple of years ago now, and that is Rambo Last Blood. So yeah, Rambo Last Blood, I watched it again over Christmas. I still like it, it's still a good film. I do think that the violence is ridiculous and silly, but then it was in the one in 2008 as well, the 4th film. I watched the extras afterwards, and Sly Stallone is going on about how they wanted to bring it back from the gratuitous violence of Rambo, the 4th film in 2008, and they wanted to give it the drama, I think, of like First Blood, and make it more about character-driven storyline, which is great, and they do a good job of that, and it really does have that. But I don't think it's all right doing that, but you've got to stick with it and make it consistent. And unfortunately, at the end of the film, it just goes comic book, and he just murders people in ridiculous ways. And it's really, really fun as an action film fan to watch, and it's just great watching him destroy these people. But it's so over the top. I mean, you could argue that it's realistic as well, because most films aren't realistic. If you shoot someone up close in the face with a shotgun, the head's going to explode. So it is realistic in that respect. But because he was trying to make it a serious film, I think like basically to bookend it like with the original film, but it just doesn't work because he's got that comedic, ridiculous violence at the end. But the film itself, if you just watch it as a straightforward action film, it's great fun. For me, Rambo, the best film they've ever made was his first one, First Blood. You know, as far as a narrative and character and all of that, the first film is a masterpiece of a film. But I've always enjoyed the sequels, even number 3. You know, so yeah. But it's a lot of fun. If you just don't care and you just want to have fun and watch Rambo kill everyone, then give it a shot. It's really good. Next one really surprised me is Sonic the Hedgehog. I saw this when it came out, had no hopes whatsoever for it, very low hopes, because I thought, no way they're going to make a good film out of Sonic the Hedgehog. Video games don't generally get great films. They get either average or shite. But Sonic the Hedgehog blew me away. It's really, really funny. It's really entertaining. It's a really good family film as well. Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik really shocked me, because I thought he was going to be like over the top Jim Carrey, but he kind of dialed it down a little bit, and he just played it right. So he's really funny in it, and he's really good. Him and the guy who did the voice for Sonic worked really well. I love James Marsden. I think him and Sonic have a great chemistry, which is a weird thing to say. But even like making Sonic speak, the actor that did Sonic's voice is brilliant, because he plays him as a little kid who's like really hyperactive, and it's just a really beautifully made film and really fun and so entertaining. I loved it. I watched it again Christmas, and I still love it. It could be one of those like Christmas movies now where I go to every year, because it's just absolutely brilliant. And the sequel's coming. If you've not seen the first one, please watch it and see what you think. Don't dismiss it because it looks silly, and watch the post-credit scenes as well, because it's very cool. And the last film I got was Spider-Man Far From Home, the second Tom Holland film, follow-up to Homecoming, with Jake Gyllenhaal playing Mysterio. I absolutely love it. I watched it at the cinema. I wasn't that keen at the cinema, I'll be honest with you, because I thought the first half of the film was too slow. And then when the action kicked off, it got really good, and I probably enjoyed Jake Gyllenhaal because he's a phenomenal actor. I've watched it a few times now. and still got the Blu-ray. And yeah, it's actually not that bad. It isn't as slow as I thought at the beginning, as I remembered it being. I still think that it should just get going. I could have done without all the lead up, you know, but oh well, it is what it is. But yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal's absolutely incredible as always, and Tom Holland's fantastic. I'm not going to spoil anything, obviously, for anybody who hasn't seen it, but if you haven't seen the current Spider-Man films, I recommend them. They're really, really fun. I'm looking forward to seeing, was it No Way Home? I haven't got out to see that at the cinema yet, but I think I'm going to run out of time actually. I think it's coming close to coming off the cinema, so I may have to wait for the Blu-ray or the streaming service. But yeah, Far From Home, great film, so I'm really happy to have it. So there you go, guys. That's everything I've picked up and I've had for Christmas as well, the gifts I got. Leave your thoughts down below. Let me know what you think of all of these, and if you've got Evercade, what are your thoughts on Evercade? As I say, I will make a video going more in depth with my thoughts on Evercade, the handheld and the console, things I like, things I don't like, that kind of thing. Yeah, thanks very much for watching, guys. Really appreciate it, and the videos will keep coming. So I will see you again in the next one.